Welcome to this explainer. You know, when you take a step back and really look at Earth from the vast, dark expanse of space, what stands out isn't the land. It's the sheer, breathtaking magnitude of the blue. We literally live on a planet entirely defined by its water. It is, without a doubt, the eternal pulse of our world. Greater than 70%. Let that massive number sink in for just a second. We call our home Earth, but honestly, looking at this staggering proportion, maybe we should really be calling it ocean. Vast, interconnected bodies of water cover more than 70% of our planet's surface. It's this completely dominant physical feature that wraps around the entire globe. Now, what's really interesting about this quote is how it frames these waters. We aren't just looking at static pools of H2O. It's shining from space like a living force that holds the secrets of life itself. We aren't just talking about a giant puddle here. It's an active, breathing entity. It's the cradle where the very mysteries of our existence are locked away in the deep. Okay, let's dive into this. Section 1. Birth of the Blue Planet, from Fire to Water. This is an absolutely epic survival arc. Think about it. Billions of years ago, during the Earth's formation, there were no calm, rolling waves. None. It was just violent, explosive volcanic eruptions tearing the young planet apart, releasing unimaginable amounts of water vapor into a toxic, boiling atmosphere. But then, the planet cools. That vapor finally condenses, and what follows is a period of endless falling rain. Not just for days or weeks, but for millions of years. Millions of years of continuous torrential downpours, filling the great rocky basins of the Earth to form the vast oceans we recognize today. It's just an incredible planetary transition, going from a volcanic hellscape right to a water world. Which brings us to the geography of today. Section 2. The 5 mighty oceans shaping our world. We've divided this singular global force into 5 distinct realms. You have the mighty Pacific Ocean, expansive and unimaginably deep. The powerful Atlantic Ocean, fiercely dividing continents. The warm Indian Ocean, carrying intense tropical energy. The icy Southern Ocean, violently swirling around the Antarctic continent. And the frozen Arctic Ocean, locking away the extreme north. Each one has a completely unique character. But here is the absolute key takeaway. They do not act alone. Together, these 5 oceans operate as a single massive global engine. They are seamlessly interconnected. They dictate the weather systems, they drive the deep underwater currents, and they distribute life across the entire globe. Without this continuous, churning circulation, well, the climate and life as we know it would simply cease to exist. So let's look a little closer. Section 3. A hidden underwater universe, extremes of the deep. On one hand, you have the vibrant, sun-drenched shallows, colorful coral reefs absolutely thriving with visible, bustling life. It's like a crowded underwater metropolis. But then, you travel downward, and you hit the deep sea darkness, a pitch-black abyss where the sun never reaches, hiding creatures so strange and bizarre they seem like they belong in a science fiction movie. And this brilliantly illustrates the staggering scale of this ecosystem. The extremes aren't just in the environment, they're in the biology itself. You have tiny, microscopic plankton, literally invisible to the naked eye, but serving as the absolute foundation of the marine food web, compared directly against giant, massive whales, the largest creatures to ever exist on Earth. Both rely entirely on the exact same waters to survive. Millions of species depend on these waters. Millions! And what's incredibly fascinating to me and what should really spark your curiosity right now is that many of these species are still completely undiscovered. We know the massive whales, we know the tiny plankton, but there is an untold number of life forms swimming in that deep darkness that humanity has literally never laid eyes on. It's a completely unexplored frontier. Let's move to and see how this builds into Section 4, the Earth's lungs, breathing life into the planet. When we talk about the lungs of our planet, we are talking about the ocean's critical function of producing oxygen and absorbing massive amounts of carbon dioxide. Think about that chemical exchange for a minute. It is regulating Earth's climate on a monumental scale. The oceans pull in the carbon dioxide that traps heat in our atmosphere, and they push out the oxygen we need to survive. It's a massive planetary respiratory system at work. Ocean oxygen production accounts for greater than 50% of our entire global supply. I want to talk directly to you for a second. Take a deep breath in. Now take another one. That second breath, The oxygen filling your lungs right now came directly from this marine ecosystem. More than half of all the oxygen we breathe is generated by the oceans. You are biologically connected to the sea, no matter how far inland you live. Which brings us to a very serious reality. Section 5. A planet in peril, the existential threat. We are actively driving 3 massive threats right now. Pollution, clogging pristine, life-giving waters with waste and chemicals. Climate change. The oceans are absorbing so much excess carbon dioxide and heat that their very chemistry is fundamentally breaking down. And overfishing. We are stripping the oceans of those millions of species way faster than they can possibly reproduce. Together, these 3 compounding forces are rapidly pushing this absolutely vital ecosystem toward extreme danger. So, the crucial point is this. Protecting the oceans is not just important, it is absolutely necessary. This isn't just some casual environmental preference. It's not a nice-to-have bonus for the Earth. It is a strict, undeniable existential necessity for the survival of the human race and the planet as a whole. Because without oceans, there is no life on Earth. It is a stark, final, and absolute truth. If the ocean dies, everything else follows. Which leaves us with a final question. If there is no life without our oceans, what will we do to protect them? Think about your own profound connection to the deep blue. Thank you for joining me on this explainer. Keep learning, keep asking the big questions, and I'll see you next time.